So this is Will and John. They're here helping me not destroy my arms and legs putting the roof on the goat shelter. And we've had quite some time out here. Everything that has the possibility of going wrong has gone wrong creatively. Is that the last screw?
That's it.
All right, the last one got on camera and the rest of them were not. So anyways.
Except for the other three over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you gonna do those? Somebody gonna do those?
I did 3 of them. There's 3 more. Oh.
I just finished putting all the rafters in, and then I'm starting to put purlins in on the front right here. You can see, and then put the roof on next. And before I put, so there's some vertical posts on the other side that I put in, and that's what we'll attach the pickets to in order to skim all of it, or skin all of it, I guess you would say. So you can hear Dumpy running in the background. We're gonna put Dumpy to work today. Go over to the gravel pit, which is across the road over there, on that side. And we're gonna go over there and get a bunch of gravel. I mean, you might call it gravel. I don't know what else you want to call it. But rocks and dirt. So right now, I've got several loads in here and I'm raking it all out by hand, which is really a pleasant thing to do. So mostly rock, but there's definitely some dirt in here. It works really well on our sidewalk that goes up to our walkway that goes up to our front door. The dirt that's in there kind of has washed away after a couple of rains, and now it's mostly just very, very small pulverized rock. So here, the problem is that if I'd made these a little bit taller, I could get the bucket in a little bit further and put it down and just drag. But which I did on this a little bit, but just like right at the, the front right here. And so now I'm having to do all of it by hand because I mean, who needs a gym membership when you have half the tools that you need to do a job? So enjoy. So this is Will and John. they're here helping me not destroy my arms and legs putting the roof on the goat shelter. And we've had quite some time out here. Everything that has the possibility of going wrong has gone wrong creatively. Is that the last screw?
That's it.
All right, the last one got on camera and the rest of them were not. So anyways.
Except for the other 3 over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you gonna do those? Somebody gonna do those?
I did 3 of them. There's 3 more. Oh.
You did 3, so
Smooth.
anyways. Yep.
Okay.
We only got half done. We only got this half done on this top side. The other side over there. We try not to fall off the ladder while doing that. Well, the other side's not done. So, and then the ridge cap is not done yet either. But whatever. Got a good bit done. You want to do one on camera or?
I don't know. Oh yeah. No, I was about to put it in the wrong place. Driving. I was about to put it in the wrong place.
Look at that. Success. Happy time change day. Actually, it's the day after time change day, but time change, so I was able to actually get up before work, feed the goats, and do a little bit of work on the goat shelter, which means that I got all of the roof on except for the ridge cap, and I realized that somewhere I miscalculated, and my roof on this side, which I had to cut from 9-foot panels into 3-foot panels, is about at least 2 inches short on this end. So instead of cutting all this off and moving it up and not having much overhang on this end, I'm just gonna get a ridge cap and put it up there. And then I'm gonna get a second ridge cap and tuck it up underneath here and just let it have a drip edge that comes off of that. Cause this is not pressure treated wood on the edge right here. And so I don't wanna just leave it exposed. When I added the roof, it made, my friend Tim says, a diaphragm, or I would call it a shear plane or a shear web, that keeps it from, he does buildings and I don't, so he knows what he's talking about. Anyways, so when you push like in the middle right here, now it doesn't wobble back and forth hardly at all. You can kind of make the whole building move a little bit because it's just sitting on cinder blocks here, but it's getting so heavy that if you really wanted to move it, you'd have to put your shoulder down into it and heave ho with all you got. So we'll put those pickets on the edges and leave this one open right here. We got most of the rock filled in. I may dump another couple of loads in this end and just spread it out. But yeah, coming along. After I got the first wall up, I figured I'd shoot a quick time lapse just to show you that this is really a fast process. So once I get started and work my way up, it's maybe 6 or 7 minutes, and it's really only that long on this one because I have to cut the last one, but otherwise this is speedy. All right, so we got the first wall done here. There is overhang on both sides, as you can tell, but I'm just going to come back with the circular saw and cut a line right down there. Same thing on the other side, and then we'll put a vertical picket right here. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. See what the goats will see. This is what the goats will see. Not too shabby. Look at that 1, 2 discolored boards. I think those are boards that have dried out a little bit more. The chances are this is going to gap a little bit. I pulled it down as tight as I could. You can see there's very little, if any, light coming through. Eventually, they'll shrink down some more. They've been sitting outside, but they'll shrink down some more. They're not perfectly dry. And we'll get some gaps in there. If it's drafty, I'll come in and put some OSB board on the inside, especially down on the other end where they're probably going to spend most of their time when it's cold. And that should block the wind from them. But I don't think they're going to gap enough to where actually we're going to see wind come through. But we'll see. Hopefully they're just hardy enough to deal with a 1/8 inch gap between the boards. One other thing that I did mention is I am going to put some additional supports up here and here. And I'm going to take this wall up a little bit higher. Right now we're at 5 feet, and we'll be at 5 feet all the way around. On these sides, we're going to have a little bit of opening here up underneath the roof. But I don't want the wind to be blowing through here and then come down through this and come back out on the other side. So we'll bring this up a little bit further, but we won't go all the way to the top. We don't want a bunch of smell just lingering in here. We want it to be able to dry out a little bit and exit through that roof. Okay, I got this side on and I cut all that, and then I got most of that side on. So this is all done on this side. At least it's all covered anyways. And I've got overhang here that, once again, I've got to cut off and those few extra pieces. So we're getting there. It's a good start. You might be thinking, hey, I bet she's gonna put some nice trim on there or something like that. No. This is farm purpose. Why, you may think, okay, well maybe he's doing these pickets because they look really nice. Nope. Not including my time necessarily. There are a few options. One, metal siding, super expensive. Two, pressure treated plywood, very expensive again. Three, plywood and paint, probably about the same price, but also I would have to paint it, which I have no desire to do. And then there's these, which just buy a bunch of them and then, you know, pull out the old air stapler, 18 gauge staples, 1.5 inch, and shoot them through here. And it really takes probably, I mean, honestly, I did probably this side and all these in an hour, hour and a half. And then I'll probably put something just to cover the seams up here. I just need this to be capable of holding goats and keeping them from getting soaking wet or blasted by wind or snow. So anyways, nothing's done on the back, but the front is getting there. So I'm cheap, and that's the way we do things. Welcome to another hour of Ryan building stuff with either the wrong tools, the wrong parts, or in this instance, which is often the problem, using the thing that was cheaper but not made for the job to try and do the job. I was getting ready to buy ridge caps, and the ridge caps come in 10-foot sections and they're like $35 a piece. And so it's like, it's just a bent piece of sheet metal. It's crazy. Like, you can buy a whole piece of roofing for $35 or $40 or whatever. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So on principle, I could not pay 30-something dollars per ridge cap, especially considering it's 25 feet, so I'd have to buy 3 of them. That's $100. I decided that I would buy gutters and just try and smash the gutters down on top and screw them in. And it will work, I think. But it's gonna take me at least twice as long, if not 3 times as long. And it's not gonna look as good, and it's probably gonna hold some water in some of the ridges. But you know what? It's a matter of principle. It should not cost $32.95 per ridge cap for a bent piece of sheet metal, in my opinion. Okay, here you go. Here's the first couple of screws put into this abomination of a ridge cap that's going to probably collect some water right here. But you know what? Gutters collect water, so who cares, right? You have to really smash it to get it to work, as you can tell. And it will work, but it's going to take some effort to get it to work right. If you're cheap like me, I'm sorry. And you should probably just buy the right thing. But it's so hard when this was $7 and metal ridge caps, which should be harder to make than these are $33. So I am kicking back against the system. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm wasting a bunch of time, but this should work. And if not, in 2 years, if it's messed up, I'll go buy ridge caps for probably $40 at that point per whatever.